Today we're going to make my weekend style eggs. This is my preferred method of having eggs. It's not a casserole, it's not an omelet, it's kind of scrambled eggs-ish. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple ingredients. It's something anybody and everybody can make quickly. So we'll just run down through it. Baby Bella mushrooms, you can use white, you can use sliced, non-sliced. Green peppers, red peppers, sweet onion, white onion, red onion, a little bit of everything. Eggs, milk, garlic, and bacon fat. That's what we're going to need to get started. So first thing we're going to do is start slicing up the peppers, and we'll start cooking them down and sauteing them. Then we're going to take about the longest. Next we'll throw in the onions and then the peppers, and we'll get that all cooking down. We'll whip up some eggs and get it mixed up. So liberal amounts of bacon fat. Good spoonful. You can use butter, you can use tallow, you don't have to use anything. We'll start with the peppers. Now, you don't need any sort of special peppers. These just happen to be what we had here. You could use all green, you could use all red, it doesn't matter. Same with the onions. I happen to have a variety of them, so we're going to use a variety. I really like the sweet onions personally, but we had white and red to use up, so that's what it's going to be. With the green onions, I cut them in 4 pieces. That way I can take out the top and the seeds. I'll throw them in my seed bucket. Hi Leo, you hungry too? And you can cut these as small or as large as you want. I like them small. I like them really cooked down well and sauteed so they're soft. The boys like them large and crunchy, but it's all personal preference. They get what the cook makes. Peppers have started, so we'll start dicing up some onions and getting them ready. All I do is take the ends off. Run the knife gently around it, both sides, and that'll cut that outer layer free, and you can peel it back like an onion. I'm going to set them aside because the peppers haven't cooked down enough yet. I'm going to wait for them to start getting soft before I add the onions in. They cook relatively quick. The garlic cooks relatively quick, and the mushrooms don't take a lot of time at all. I just really like my peppers really soft. So you can see the peppers have started to change color a little bit. They're getting soft, so we'll put in the onion. Now we'll start on the mushrooms and garlic. Just give that a good little slam, and that will open up the garlic. So to process garlic cloves, we're just going to set that down, take the edge of the knife, press it a little bit, it'll squash that open, and then you can take that outer shell right off. So I've got about 6 large cloves of garlic here. You don't need garlic, you can use garlic, you can use less, you can use more. I like a lot of garlic. I don't know whether it's scientific or not, but I think between the onions and the garlic and the bacon fat, that's why I never get sick. So I go heavy on the garlic. Might be a placebo, but I'm going to stick with the garlic and bacon fat. That's what we got. So that's in. Now we'll get some mushrooms. Say about a half a container probably. So I know you culinary type of folks watching, are gonna say my rock and chop is awful, but you gotta keep in mind I'm just a welder that likes to stay well fed, so try my best. And if it's looking a little too dry, don't be afraid to boil it in some bacon fat. This batch we're going to have a little bonus feature. Last night we had a spiraled ham, so there's some of that left over. So I'm just going to hack some of that off and cut it up. And we're going to throw that into the mix. And for this, I like to cut everything up relatively small because you'll see when we do the eggs and I keep whipping it and mixing it up, small pieces, just everything flows together better. So relatively small pieces, but you make them to what suits you. So the ham threw me off. I had to go to a deeper pot or deeper skillet. So we'll throw some ham in there. And because all that is not good enough for Maine breakfast, we'll start the air fryer and we'll put in some hash browns too. 3 at a time is all it fits in mine. We'll start on the eggs. I'm going to use probably about a dozen.
Are you going to share your new tip with the class?
So my wife told me to stop cracking the eggs on the side of the bowl because that's why I'm getting shells in there. So bounce them off the countertop and then dump them in. Oh, you can go back and forth, whatever you prefer.
Don't do the whole carton.
I think we're good.
So we need to whip these up with a fork. Turn the bowl slightly because the centrifugal force, if you lay it flat, it's all going to come out. So I tip that at just a little bit of an angle and then whip that in an oval type motion. Eggs are all whipped, so now we're going to add a scientific amount of milk. You can use whole milk, you can use skim milk. I just go with a little bit. It makes the eggs a little more fluffy. So I'll let that set up, and all I'm going to do is just keep mixing all this in. It's going to be kind of like a scrambled omelet, some sort of thing that I don't know exactly what they call it, but it's good. So that's starting to cook. It's firming up. As it gets a little harder, I'll start mixing it all in. But before we go too far, I'm going to tell everybody my secret ingredient. But don't share it with anybody. Salt and pepper. And plenty of it. The salt really brings out the flavor, and I just really like hot sauce and pepper, so hot sauce and pepper. That's been cooking up for a little bit. I'm going to stop flipping it over now. You can see how it's starting to, the eggs are cooking. You don't want to let it sit too long, it'll start burning onto the bottom. I like to stir as I go and stir often. It keeps everything suspended in there. And you can see clearly by looking at it, it's not your typical egg dish. It's about 50% mushrooms, peppers, onions, and ham, and about 50% eggs. So it's really heavy on everything, but that's the way I like it. Get you through breakfast and get you through lunchtime. So these are just finishing up here. I cook everything down till they're pretty well dry. You can look down in the bottom and you see a little residue. I don't know whether it's from the milk or the eggs, but some people stop short and they like them runny, but I like cooking them till they're dry. And then my favorite part, shredded sharp cheese. Now you can put it and mix it in if you want, but I absolutely hate it mixed in. I got family members that love mixing it in, but the cheese is so much better when it's baked on the top. It holds everything together when you scoop it out, and it's amazing. That's our final creation. Eggs, hash browns on a Chinette paper plate, made right here in Waterville, Maine. Best paper plates in the world. Breakfast is done. Most of the dishes are done. All I've got left is a cast iron pan, but I just wanted to throw out there some of my tips and one of these scrubbers that I like. I found it on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below, but it's just a stainless steel chain meal, and it works really good on the cast iron pans. So cast iron pans is real simple. Some hot water. Scrub everything out. No soap, no nothing fancy. Cleaned and rinsed. We're just going to take a dry towel and wipe that extremely dry. You don't want to leave any moisture left on there. They are cast iron, they'll rust. This one, it's hard to see, but it does have an enamel back, so the inside is all I'm worried about. I'm going to take a paper towel and some of that tallow that we make. I just use a little bit of that, and then put just a quick coating of oil on that. It'll keep it from rusting, and when you heat it up next time, it'll help bake in, and that's how we get that nice black layer on the cast iron pans that we use.